What's going on, everyone? Get ready, because what I'm about to tell you right now is absolutely massive. I spent the entire week glued to ESPN programs, Sports Center, First Take, Get Up, all of them. And the name that kept coming up the most in Lakers trade discussions was Michael Porter Jr. Yes, the Denver Nuggets forward could be on his way to Los Angeles. And the analysis these ESPN guys did about this possibility has me completely convinced that this would be a transformative trade for the franchise. Come with me, and I'll tell you everything. Starting with the early morning Sports Center from this week, the anchor opened the Lakers segment with a question that's been echoing in my head. What do the Lakers need to transform potential into a championship? And his answer was surprisingly simple: shooting and spacing. And who better to solve that than Michael Porter Jr.? Toiti intriyodits Dartis, one of the most talented shooters in the NBA today? Hey, what's up, everyone? Real quick before we get into everything. That like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do. But honestly, the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. The analyst on the program explained the Lakers' situation in a very clear way. With Luka Doncic running the offense, the team needs players who know how to play off the ball. Players who can position themselves in the corners, receive the pass, and convert three-point shots efficiently. And Michael Porter Jr. does exactly that. He's what they call a catch-and-shoot specialist. But with a twist, he can also create his own shot when necessary. The guy showed MPJ's numbers this season, and honestly, they're impressive. He's having an all-star caliber season, producing points, rebounds, and maintaining a three-point percentage that's among the best in the league for players his size. A 6'2" wing who shoots like that is a nightmare for any defense. On First Take, Stephen A. Smith was absolutely fired up talking about this possibility. And look, when Stephen A. gets excited about something Lakers-related, you know it's serious business. He started by saying that Michael Porter Jr. would be exactly the missing piece in the purple and gold puzzle. Stephen A.'s analysis focused on the tactical fit. He explained that with LeBron James and Luka Doncic on the roster, the Lakers have two of the best passers and playmakers in the NBA. The problem is that often they don't have anyone to pass to. When you look at the Lakers' current roster, how many reliable three-point shooters do they have? The answer is worryingly few. Michael Porter Jr. would change that instantly. Stephen A. painted a scenario where Luka Doncic drives into the defense, draws the help, and finds MPJ open in the corner. It's practically guaranteed points. Or LeBron James running the fast break, seeing MPJ running on the weak side, and hitting that diagonal pass that we all know LeBron makes better than anyone. MPJ catches and buries the three. It's beautiful to imagine. Stephen A. went even further in his analysis by comparing what the Lakers currently have in terms of spacing versus what they would have with Michael Porter Jr. He said the difference is like night and day. Right now, defenses can pack the paint against the Lakers because they don't respect the outside shooting. They know that if LeBron or Luka kick the ball out, the shooter might miss. But with MPJ out there, you can't leave him open. You simply cannot do it. He will make you pay every single time. And that creates a cascading effect throughout the entire offense. When you have a shooter like MPJ commanding respect on the perimeter, it opens up driving lanes for Luka. It creates more space for LeBron to operate in the post. It gives Anthony Davis cleaner looks at the rim. Everyone benefits from the gravity that a shooter like Michael Porter Jr. brings to the floor. On Get Up, the discussion took an interesting turn when they started talking about MPJ's fit alongside the Lakers' current personnel. One of the analysts made a point that really stuck with me. He said that Michael Porter Jr. is one of those rare players who actually becomes better when he's surrounded by great players. A lot of guys need the ball in their hands to be effective, but MPJ is the opposite. Give him great passers, give him space to operate off the ball, and he becomes a weapon of mass destruction. And think about it, the analyst continued. In Denver, MPJ has been playing alongside Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. two of the best playmakers in the league, and he's thrived in that environment. Now imagine him playing with Luka Doncic and LeBron James, who are arguably even better passers. The opportunities he would get in that system would be absolutely ridiculous. We could be looking at MPJ averaging 25 points per game on elite efficiency. The Get Up crew also addressed something that a lot of people worry about with MPJ, his defense. And look, they were honest about it. Michael Porter Jr. is not known as an elite defender. He's not going to lock down the other team's best player. But here's the thing, the analyst pointed out. The Lakers don't necessarily need him to do that. If they can pair him with Dillon Brooks or another elite perimeter defender, MPJ just needs to be competent on that end. He just needs to not be a liability. And at 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan, he has the physical tools to at least contest shots and bother opposing wings. The analyst also mentioned that MPJ's defense has actually improved over the years. Playing under Michael Malone in Denver, he's learned better positioning, better rotation, better understanding of team defense concept. He's never going to be all defense, but he can be solid enough that his offensive contributions far outweigh any defensive limitation. On the Midday Sports Center, they did a deep dive into the potential trade packages the Lakers could offer for Michael Porter Jr. This is where it gets really interesting, because it shows how serious the Lakers might be about pursuing this. According to the reporter, the Brooklyn Nets currently have Michael Porter Jr. as part of their roster from the trade that sent various pieces from Denver to Brooklyn. The Nets are in full rebuild mode, and they're looking to accumulate assets for the future. A player like MPJ, who is on a significant contract and in his prime, might not fit their timeline. The reporter mentioned that HP Basketball, through their Action Network reporting, has indicated that there have been talks between the Lakers and Nets about various players, including Michael Porter Jr. Rob Pelinka and the Nets front office have a good relationship, having already completed the Dorian Finney-Smith trade previously, so the communication channels are open. The trade packages the Lakers could offer are intriguing. They have expiring contracts that could be used for salary match. They have young players who could be included as sweetener. And most importantly, they have their first-round pick, which could be the centerpiece of any offer. A package of expiring contracts, a young player or two, and a first-round pick could absolutely get the conversation started for Michael Porter Jr. On First Take the next day, the hosts had a spirited debate about whether trading for MPJ would be worth giving up assets. This is where Stephen A. really went in on the Lakers' situation. He argued that the Lakers are in what he called championship or bust mode. With LeBron's contract ending after this season and uncertainty about whether he'll return, with Luka in his prime wanting to win now, with AD's history of injuries making every healthy season precious, the Lakers cannot afford to be conservative. They need to swing for the fences. And Michael Porter Jr. represents exactly the type of swing they should be taking. Stephen A. continued, "Yes, you might have to give up a first-round pick. Yes, you might have to include some young players who have potential. But what is potential worth compared to winning a championship? The Lakers didn't become the most storied franchise in the Western Conference by playing it safe. They made bold moves when the opportunity presented itself." Stephen A. then went into the history of Lakers championship teams and how almost all of them were built through aggressive acquisition of talent, not through patient development of draft picks. From Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to Shaquille O'Neal, to Pau Gasol, to Anthony Davis, the Lakers have always been willing to give up assets for proven stars. Michael Porter Jr. isn't quite at that level yet, but he's exactly the type of complementary star that championship teams need. On Get Up the following day, they addressed the elephant in the room, Michael Porter Jr.'s injury history. This is something that a lot of Lakers fans worry about, and rightfully so. MPJ has had back surgeries, he's missed significant time in his career, and there are always questions about his long-term durability. The analyst handling this topic was surprisingly optimistic, though. He pointed out that since his second back surgery, MPJ has actually been quite healthy. He's played 76, 67, and now he's on pace for another 70-plus game season. Yes, There's always going to be some risk with a player who has had back issues, but the worst seems to be behind him. The analyst also made an interesting comparison. He said every great player comes with some level of risk. Anthony Davis has his own injury concerns, and the Lakers traded everything for him. Kawhi Leonard had quad issues, and the Clippers gave up a king's ransom. That's just the nature of the NBA today. You can't get elite talent without accepting some degree of uncertainty. And when you weigh the risk against the reward with Michael Porter Jr., the analyst concluded, the math works in favor of making the trade. You're getting a 26-year-old who can score 20 points per game on elite efficiency, who spaces the floor unlike anyone else on your roster, and who has championship experience with Denver. Yes, there's risk, but the potential reward is a legitimate championship contender. On the evening Sports Center, they brought out the advanced statistics to make the case for why MPJ would be so valuable for the Lakers. And let me tell you, the numbers are eye-opening. Michael Porter Jr.'s true shooting percentage consistently ranks among the best in the league. His three-point shooting creates what analysts call gravity, which is essentially the pull he has on defenders that opens up opportunities for teammates. The numbers show that when MPJ is on the floor, his teammates shoot better because defenses are so worried about leaving him open. The analyst showed a graphic comparing the Lakers' offensive rating with their current personnel versus what it could potentially be with Michael Porter Jr. The improvement was significant. More spacing means more efficient shots for everyone. More efficient shots mean more points. More points mean more wins. It's simple basketball math. They also showed how the Lakers currently rank among the worst in the league in three-point shooting percentage and three-point volume. This isn't just about making threes when you're open. It's about even attempting them, because defenses know you're not a threat. Adding MPJ would immediately make the Lakers more dangerous from the outside, which in turn makes them more dangerous everywhere else. On First Take later in the week, the discussion shifted to how MPJ would fit with Luka Doncic specifically. This is crucial, because if those two can't coexist, the whole trade becomes pointless. Stephen A. brought up an excellent point here. He said that Luka Doncic, throughout his career, has always been best when he has shooters around him. Going back to his Dallas days, his most effective lineups always featured multiple guys who could knock down threes. That's just how Luka plays. He draws attention, he creates advantages, and he needs guys who can capitalize on those advantages by making shots. Michael Porter Jr. is tailor-made for that role, Stephen A. continued. He doesn't need the ball to be effective. He doesn't need plays called for him. All he needs is Luka finding him when he's open, and he will deliver. That's the perfect marriage of skill sets. The counter-argument, brought up by one of the other hosts, was about whether having so much offense and not enough defense could hurt the Lakers in the playoffs. It's a fair concern, but the response to that was equally compelling. In today's NBA, you need to score to win. Defense is important, sure, but if you can't put up 115, 120 points against the best teams, you're not winning championships anyway. MPJ ensures the Lakers can do that. On Get Up, they did a segment imagining what the Lakers' starting lineup would look like with Michael Porter Jr. And honestly, it's scary on paper. Luka Doncic at point guard, Austin Reeves at shooting guard, Michael Porter Jr. at small forward, LeBron James at power forward, and Anthony Davis at center. That's 5 legitimate scorers on the floor at the same time. That's 4 guys who can shoot the three. That's 2 of the best passers in the league. That's elite rim protection from AD. How do you defend that? The analyst walked through how each player would benefit from the others. Luka has space to operate because defenses can't help off any of the other 4 guys. Austin Reeves gets cleaner looks because the defense is worried about everyone else. MPJ is constantly getting open threes because Luka and LeBron are drawing double. LeBron can pick his spots and attack mismatches without having to carry the entire offensive burden. And AD gets cleaner looks at the rim because the defense is stretched so thin. It's the type of lineup that could hang with anyone in the league, the analyst concluded. The Nuggets, the Celtics, whoever comes out of the East. The Lakers would have a legitimate answer for everyone. On the afternoon Sports Center, They addressed what Denver would want in return, and whether the Lakers could realistically meet those demands. This is where the rubber meets the road in any trade discussion. The reporter explained that the Nets, who currently have MPJ, are looking to stockpile assets for their rebuild. They want first-round picks, they want young players with potential, and they want to clear salary for future flexibility. The Lakers can provide some of those things, but maybe not everything. The realistic package, according to the reporter's sources, would likely involve the Lakers' first-round pick, some combination of expiring contracts for salary matching, and possibly a young player like a Max Christie, or whoever the Lakers value least among their young core. It's not nothing, but it's also not mortgage the future territory. The question is whether the Nets would accept that, or if they'd push for more. Other teams might be interested in MPJ too, so the Lakers would need to act decisively if they're serious. Waiting until the trade deadline when everyone gets desperate could either work in their favor or backfire spectacularly. On First Take, the final day of the week, the hosts gave their final verdicts on whether the Lakers should pursue Michael Porter Jr. aggressively, and the consensus was surprisingly unanimous. Yes, they absolutely should. Stephen A's closing argument was particularly powerful. He said the Lakers have been mediocre for too long after winning the bubble championship. They've tinkered around the edges, they've made small moves, they've hoped their stars would be enough. But hope is not a strategy. You need to actually go out and get the pieces that make your team complete. Michael Porter Jr. is exactly that type of piece, Stephen A. said. He fills a specific need that the Lakers have been unable to address through other means. He's young enough to be part of the future, but experienced enough to help right now. He's the rare player who actually fits both timelines the Lakers are trying to navigate. And most importantly, Stephen A. concluded, he's available. The Nets will listen to offers. The Lakers have assets to make offers. Sometimes in the NBA, the stars align, and you have to be ready to seize the moment. This could be that moment for the Lakers. The other hosts agreed, each adding their own perspective on why the trade makes sense. One mentioned the marketing aspect, how LA loves big names, and MPJ would be a fan favorite immediately. Another talked about how MPJ's game would age well because shooters don't rely on athleticism as much. A third pointed out that the Lakers' championship window is now, and they can't afford to be timid. So wrapping up the ESPN analysis on Michael Porter Jr., to the Lakers, here are the key takeaways that came up across all the program. First, the Lakers desperately need shooting and spacing, and MPJ provides both at an elite level. This isn't opinion, it's statistical fact based on how the Lakers' offense currently operates versus how it could operate with a shooter of his caliber. Second, the fit with Luka Doncic and LeBron James is ideal. MPJ's skill set complements what they do rather than competing with it. He makes everyone around him better simply by being a threat that defenses have to respect. Third, while there are legitimate concerns about his injury history, the recent track record has been encouraging. He's been largely healthy the past few seasons, and the risk might be worth the reward. Fourth, the trade is actually achievable. The Lakers have the assets to make it happen, and the Nets have incentive to move him. It's not some pie-in-the-sky scenario, it's a realistic possibility. And fifth, the Lakers' championship window is narrow. They need to act with urgency, and acquiring a player like MPJ signals that they're serious about competing at the highest level. I personally think the ESPN analysts are right on this one. Michael Porter Jr. would transform the Lakers from a team with potential to a legitimate championship contender. The shooting, the spacing, the fit alongside their stars, it all makes too much sense. So that's everything ESPN has been saying about Michael Porter Jr. to the Lakers. It was a lot of information, but I wanted to make sure you understood the full picture of why this trade is being discussed so heavily. If you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you want MPJ on the Lakers? Would you give up a first-round pick for him? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.